Should you visit the beautiful Bansko, Bulgaria? Absolutely. Find out why in this video. Bansko, Bulgaria is a small ski resort town, and I spent a month in Bansko during the summer of 2022, and I arrived at this bus station from Sofia, Bulgaria. It took about 2.5 hours. Bansko is a growing area for digital nomads because of the affordability of living here and how clean and safe it is. I love Bansko, Bulgaria because it's so beautiful. You're going to hear waterfalls in the background because that's literally the natural stream that I hear throughout the day when I'm going to sleep. And this is the main street that I live on. I figured I would show you my place since I'm walking towards it. I love my place because of the view of the Perrine Mountains. It's so peaceful in this Airbnb. The cost of living in Bansko is really cheap. This is one of the reasons why I like it. And if you are doing long-term travel, it is out of the Schengen area. I also love this apartment because it was centrally located to all my favorite eating spots like coconut coffee and smoothie. The smoothies here are so good. The coffee is too. I'm not a coffee drinker, but the coffee drinkers that I met swore by this place. Right across Safe Sapit was a place for really good cheap burgers and fries and amazing fruit juices. So I hung out here a lot. And then I'm going to show you just the beautiful Bansko, and you can hear these water streams a little bit throughout my walk before I speed it up. I am approaching Co-working Bansko, where I got 1 week's membership to meet other people, and it was such a great idea. I met other solo travelers, digital nomads, and it was a great way to feel a little bit more connected to the city. I love Bansko because it's so clean. The locals are friendly. The only issue I had in Bansko was the horrible Airbnb that I originally had. I will link that whole drama in the description box below, but you guys saw my new Airbnb in the beginning. Now, this is the city center, and there's a museum right ahead to the left, and then there's the tourist center for Bansko, which I actually never visited, but this is the main walkway into the city center. I shouldn't say into it. This is a city center, and restaurants and the museums. It's just beautiful. It's a very small community here. This is a museum you can walk in and check out, but I just love how clean it was, and it was quiet. It was quiet the majority of the day in Bansko. 5M is a popular restaurant and a good spot to do some work. I just love the aesthetics inside 5M. The food is pretty good. I ate here pretty often, solo and with friends. Now, this is the Gondolo area. Well, I'm driving towards the Gondolo area. The Gondolo area is where you want to be if you are going to Bansko to ski. But if you're coming in the summertime and you're going to, say, be with Co-working Bansko, or you want to be more towards the city center, I don't recommend staying in the gondola area because it can be a walk. It just depends on where you stay in the gondola area. The main grocery store, Billa, is near Old Town. And this is where my first Airbnb was. It was at Premier, and it was out of the way. All of the shops were closed. I don't know if it was during the season, but it was closed. So how did I stumble upon Bansko, Bulgaria? Well, I wanted to have either a mountain view or a water view when I woke up every morning, whether I saw it from my bedroom or my living room. And the water view options were just not in my budget, which was at the time $1,200 USD, max $1,500 USD a month. And this was very cheap compared to what I have been spending in Europe. For example, I wanted to be in Lisbon, and I'm very particular about what I wanted in my stay. And my hotel stay was for 2 weeks for $1,600 USD. I mean, no, it was euros, so it was more in USD. And I didn't want to repeat of that, and I'm like, I will blow my budget if I keep doing that. So once I put that in, the water view options that came up were Turkey, Lebanon, and I can't remember. And then I filtered to make sure it was on Europe specifically. And then the water view options just weren't working out. And so I set it on mountain view options, and Romania came up a few times, and then Bansko, Bulgaria kept coming up. And so I'm like, okay, let me see what this city is, because I've heard of Bulgaria. Clearly it's a country, but I didn't know exactly where it was located in Europe. And when I seen the location, the proximity to Greece and Italy, which is next on my list, I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna go there. And so that's how the initial selection began. I got on YouTube and I put in Bansko, Bulgaria, specifically like Black in Bansko, Bulgaria, because I like to see if there's gonna be people that look like me before I get somewhere, because I just don't want to be the person that stands out, and I definitely am here. I have seen literally only 3 other Black people, and not consistently either, and I've been totally fine. I'm gonna get to the race part in a moment, but I didn't see anything come up for Black in Bulgaria, or Bansko I should say. I'm like, okay. But what did keep coming up was co-working Bansko, and that this is a great area for nomads. And so I'm like, okay, I want to be in an area where I can meet people. After I rest, I want to be able to meet people. And so I just kept seeing people walking like me, showing the beautiful like mountain backdrops, which you can't see right now, you're seeing cars. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'll be there for a month. Worst case scenario, I'll just be in my room the whole time, which is what I wanted, to be able to reflect on all my experience, like I said, so far. This is busy. This street is as busy as it gets in Bansko. It's a very small town, and this is ski town. So it's busy in the winter season, which is the same winter season as the States. Between November and February, it's snowfall and it's the ski season. So in the summer, it's perfect because there's not a lot of people here, and the cost of living is very cheap. I'm very fortunate with my Airbnb that I got. The second Airbnb I got. The first one was horrible, and I'm gonna link that description on how I canceled it and how I was so just not happy with it. But I found another Airbnb, and with the discount that Airbnb gave me of $71 because of the horrible experience, I was able to get my current Airbnb for, I only paid $900 USD for the month. So, but guess what? That's the highest, because there are people that pretty much everyone that I met from co-working space in the co-work space in Bansko, they paying €200 a month. Yeah, €200. So the euro and the dollar are neck and neck right now. So I guess that will equate to, I don't know, maybe 250 max USD. And I'm like, dang. But there's a reason for that. The apartments that are €200 a month, they are studios for the most part, and they are located usually on the ground level floor, which means they don't have a view. Sorry, I'm walking and talking, so y'all gonna hear cars here and there. But they said it was really small. One woman that I met, she's like, it's just cramped. For a month, she was like, she would not do that again because you wake up in your bed, you like touching the stove or the countertop, I should say. So people have said it was really small. And the website for the listings, I was like, once I seen them, I'm like, no, this is not gonna work for me. I would rather just pay. Now I know I'm getting taxed. Now that I've been here, I know how to find apartments similar to where I'm renting for half of what I'm paying. So paying about $450 USD, maybe $500 USD max instead of $900, but you get a view. Because I met a woman who has a nice view, but she's in the gondola area, which is a little ways out the way. But she has a view. So I'm learning a lot since being here a month, but it's exactly what I wanted. One thing about Bansko is thanks to the co-working Bansko space, there are a lot of people who are solo travelers who are here working. I don't consider myself a digital nomad specifically because I'm not working on projects and I don't have to work Monday through Friday. I don't have to work pretty much at all. I'm really just working on YouTube, sharing my story. And I do have 2 businesses that I'm running, but it's not where I need to like work 40, 50 hours a week. It's just hit or miss. So when I first started traveling, I was really busy with financial garden and with my real estate with some city inspections going on. But right now, I'm just in a creative space with financial garden, and the rental properties are just managing themselves. Like I manage them, but it hasn't been a lot of stuff. So I don't need to be in a co-working space. But the co-working spaces is videos is how I found out that Bansko has a good community for solo travelers. So whenever there's a community for solo travelers, it's good for you if you are by yourself because you'll meet other like-minded people who are not afraid to say, hey, does anyone want to go for coffee or for lunch? And it's not weird because you can be in areas where there's co-working spaces or a popular tourist destination, but people are there just for like a couple days or maybe a week, and so you may not be able to like get to really meet anyone, which is one reason why I stayed in a hostel in Barcelona. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So people that I met here have been like some co-working spaces that they've been, and I think like Valencia, for example, they're like the co-working space is all locals, so they ain't trying to meet nobody new. They already got that crew, they already got their base. So I personally did not come here to socialize the whole time. So the first 2 weeks that I was here, I kept it to myself. I didn't want to meet people. And so for that reason, I only got 1 week membership at Co-working Bansko. I think Co-working Bansko is a great setup. Thanks to Co-working Bansko, I met great people to do some hikes with in the Perrine Mountains. I took the lift one day, and then another day we just drove up and hiked it. But I love hiking, and you definitely should do this if you're in Bansko. The major con of Bansko is their stray dog issue. So those 3 dogs you see, that's common to see dogs just wandering around. I never had a dog come up to me, bite me, or anything like that, where I felt like I had to run. I'm not a dog person, but seeing them all around did make me feel uneasy at times. So are you going to come visit Bansko, Bulgaria? Let me know in the comments. Or if you have any questions about Bansko, drop them below. And I also have a playlist of Bansko, Bulgaria videos just for you. Until next time, bye.